Welcome to the Stockboy Gaming channel. Today we're putting the Baller ST Obey I-Wagen, Pegassi Toros, and Pfister Astron all up against each other. And if you're new to the channel, this is what we're testing. Great stuff in here. I say that a lot, but there's a big surprise toward the end. A couple big surprises toward the end you're probably going to want to stick around for with that lap testing. We're going to put two of the newest SUVs up against each other. First, here at the drag strip, we got the I-Wagen on the left, the Galavanter Baller ST on the right. We're going to see which one gets off to a better start here. I-Wagen is electric, and man, it just crushes the Baller ST to that 8th mile line. But watch what happens here. It kind of falls on its face, and now the Baller ST is starting to catch it. So even though the I-Wagen beat it to that quarter-mile line, the Baller ST is going to be much quicker on its way to the half-mile that you'll see here. That's a huge gap. So the I-Wagen truly does fall on its face after the quarter-mile, but it did beat the Baller ST to that quarter-mile marker. So now it's going to go up against the Astron. We'll see how quick the new Astron is. I really am a big fan of the Astron. You've probably heard some stuff about this I-Wagen and you've already seen it, but just look at how quick that thing is to the 8th mile. Good news so far, the Astron wasn't too far behind him, and you'll see when it gets to the quarter mile, it actually pulls ahead. So unlike the Baller ST, the Astron is able to take the lead by the time you get to the quarter mile, and it's just gonna increase that gap to a just ginormous difference by the time we get to the end of the half mile there. So I-Wagen really quick off the line, but this Astron looks fast. It looks promising, and we want to see how it goes up against this Toros here. Which one is going to get to that 8th mile line first? The Toros does get off to a slightly better start, but you can see the Astron not that far behind. So can it do the same thing it did with the I-Wagen? Not quite. The Toros actually pulls ahead a little bit on the way to that quarter mile line, and as we keep going down the strip here, it's going to increase that gap just a little bit by the time we get to the half mile too. But the Astron does look pretty promising. It's not that far behind the Pegassi Toros when you look at these drag times. Neither of them are in the 10s when it comes to quarter mile, but they're actually not that bad, especially for SUVs in this game. The I-Wagen has an insanely quick 8th mile time. That's got to be the best for SUVs in the game. And the Baller isn't the best, maybe, but it's here for a reason. The I-Wagen now, we're testing top speed, and you've probably heard its top speed's not very good. And we did see that on the drag strip as well. We're going to see just how bad it is. This Pfister Astron, it's chasing after that Toros, and I'm pulling for it. I really like this car a lot. I think it looks great. It drives really well. It's a lot of fun at my test track. The Baller ST, can it maybe pull some surprises and have a high top speed? I think this car gets a little bit of hate, but I actually like it a lot. I'll tell you why a bit later. And the Lampadati Toros, everybody know, oh no, this is the Pegassi Toros. I hate that they name two cars the same thing, or a car and a boat the same thing essentially. The Pegassi Toros is fast. We already know that. It's going to be fast. So the Toros is definitely the fastest, 142.0. That's one of the fastest cars at Seaside Speedway in the entire game. The Astron, though, very respectable 125. The Baller ST is not too bad. The I-Wagen, 93.4 miles an hour. That's top 10 worst in the game, so not good. But now, this is where it all kind of comes together, plus handling. We want to see which of these two is going to be quickest. So we're going to put these two up next to each other. They've been the worst so far in testing. We're going to see if either one of them can go fast. And what I will say about this Baller ST is it handles really well. But we already know it doesn't have a lot of power. The I-Wagen handles insanely well. It is way too good at my test track, and it really kind of made me angry because I hate it so much. There's no customization. It's just an awful car. But you can see as we go into that second hairpin, it's got a sizable lead over the Baller ST. We do know that the Baller ST is a little bit better, a little more powerful. So as we come up here to this second gantry, it's got a gap. But this is where some power can come in handy, and hopefully this Baller ST is going to pull out a little bit of an upset over the I-Wagen if we can make it come back here. As we go around that last corner, though, it's definitely not looking like it. That I-Wagen's already under that green gantry at the top of the Baller's screen. So this is that home stretch. If the Baller is going to make a comeback, it's going to have to be here, and it's definitely not going to. The I-Wagen is pretty quick, and that's a decent gap. So now the I-Wagen and the Astron are going to go at it with each other. The Astron is really good all around. You can't really say that it's slow, which I love, and it handles a little bit better probably than even the Toros. So overall, it's a really good car. I like it a lot. The I-Wagen we've already talked about. You know, it kind of sucks, but its handling is incredible. Just look at it once we get to that first gantry. It's ahead of the Pfister Astron. This really bothers me. But the good thing about the Astron is it's quite a bit faster than the Baller ST, so I'm hoping, please, 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 catch this silly little electric car. We're pulling for it. I'm pulling for it at least. Maybe you like the Astron or the Audi, whatever this is. Maybe you like the I-Wagen. You can let me have it in the comments. But look at this gap again. I mean, the Astron's really not closing the gap at all. This is where we're hopefully going to be able to put on the power, because that I-Wagen is going to tear through this chicane. You can see it's way ahead. Now the Astron, though, this is where the Astron will hopefully make that comeback. It's still about the same distance behind this silly I-Wagen, but the Astron is going to push, and hopefully it can make a last-second comeback. It does not. There you go, I-Wagen at my test track, faster than the Pfister Astron. So now it's going to take on the Toros. Who saw that coming? Oh, I certainly didn't, and this is giving me a headache just thinking about it. But the Toros, all right, let's talk about these two. They are complete opposites of each other. The Toros, look at how close that is too. Luckily, the Toros is a little bit ahead. The Toros just has so much power. You have to brake really early. The brakes are kind of poor, but it also goes really fast. So that means early braking is required. That, what's it called? I-Wagen, that's not the case. And look at that, it's still ahead of this Toros. The I-Wagen is just slow. It has that initial acceleration we saw, which makes it good for this little technical track here. I wasn't expecting it to be quite this good. It's still got the lead over the Toros. So this is where we need that power to come in. We really need this Toros to come through. This is the fastest SUV in the game. If the I-Wagen is now the fastest SUV in the game, I might cry. I'm not gonna lie, that would be absolutely horrible. But look, it actually extends the lead there. So how much faster is that Toros than the I-Wagen coming down this stretch? We can say the I-Wagen handles better, but thankfully, the Toros does come out on top. Whew. So we still have the Toros as the fastest of these. It's still up there, but the I-Wagen jumps up to the second spot with a 1019. That's really fast for an SUV. The Astron is really good. Like I said, I really like that car a lot. And the Baller, I actually really like too. Even though it's a 103, it's a really great handling car. It's really easy to just throw it around, which I like. And it's kind of nice to just cruise. When we look at the speed score, the Toros is definitely the fastest, of 90.7. When you put everything together, it's awesome. The Astron, though, 84.9 is really, really good for an SUV. It puts it up with some of the best. The Baller ST is at 79, which is good for an SUV as well. Not quite up to the Astron level, but not that far off the I-Wagen, even though it handles better than maybe anything in the game. 60 speed score is absolutely terrible. It's maybe bottom 10. I don't know, like I said. Anyways, let's try to find a good use for this I-Wagen. I think I've got a great idea. We're dropping this thing from way up in the air. Let's just destroy it to end this video. Look at that. It lands on the hood, essentially. The helicopter didn't like it. What the hell is going on? I'm too distracted. I'm looking at the Audi, or the I-Wagen, sitting there. This thing's untouched. This is unbelievable. It's invincible. The windshield's broken. The back window's broken. Well, this is not how I was. If this thing starts, oh my God. Well, there you have it. The I-Wagen is terrible, but invincible and handles really well. The Astron is probably my favorite of these three. It's just very well balanced. Toros is still the fastest. And the Baller SD, maybe give it a chance. If you have it for free, don't sell it, because it's actually really good. It handles really well. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more Stock Boy Gaming content in the future, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I had fun with this one, got a good laugh. I hope you did too, and I hope to see you next time.